On Christmas night in 1945, a terrifying incident occurred in West Virginia, USA. George Sauter and his wife Jenny Sauter were celebrating Christmas with their 10 children. The house was filled with joy, but no one knew that this night would turn into a nightmare. An unsolved mystery that remains to this day. Around 1 a.m., a sudden fire broke out in their home. George and Jenny managed to escape with 4 of their children, but the 5 children sleeping upstairs mysteriously disappeared. No remains, bones, or any traces of them were ever found. Did they perish in the fire or were they kidnapped? Was the fire an accident or was it planned? George Sauter, a hard-working Italian immigrant, was an outspoken critic of the Italian dictator Benito Mussolini, which had forced him to leave Italy and settle in America. He ran a trucking business and lived in his own house with his wife Jenny, who was a dedicated homemaker. On December 24, 1945, the Sauter children were playing with their new Christmas toys. That night, 5 of them went to sleep upstairs. Around 1 a.m., Jenny smelled smoke and discovered that a fire had started in the kitchen. George and Jenny escaped with 4 of their children, but the 5 upstairs remained trapped. George desperately tried to save them. When he ran to get a ladder, he found it missing. He attempted to use his coal truck to reach the upstairs window, but strangely both of his trucks refused to start. Meanwhile, neighbors tried to call the fire department, but no one answered. When they finally reached the fire chief, help arrived hours later, too late to save anyone. Authorities concluded that the 5 children had died in the fire. However, this explanation raised serious doubts. Human bones do not burn completely even at high temperatures, yet no bones or teeth were found. A forensic investigation later confirmed that the fire was not intense enough to destroy bones completely. The Sauter family rejected the official report. Investigators blamed an electrical short circuit, but George insisted that he had recently rewired the house, making a short circuit unlikely. Then George recalled something suspicious. When he tried to call for help, the phone line was dead. Investigators later confirmed that the phone line had been deliberately cut from outside. At 12:30, the house phone rang, and on the other end, there was a woman laughing loudly. Jenny said it was a wrong number and hung up. If the phone line was cut at 1 o'clock, and a strange call came just half an hour earlier, it meant the phone line was disconnected before the fire started. That night was full of strange incidents. First the phone call, and then just minutes before the fire, Jenny heard something fall on the roof. Since she heard nothing more, she turned over and went back to sleep. But a few minutes later, she smelled smoke. Additionally, the ladder George kept was missing during the incident and was later found far away in a field. Both of George's trucks, which were working fine the day before, mysteriously broke down during the fire. All of these events led George Sauter to believe that his children had not died in the fire but were kidnapped. But in all that chaos, how could someone take the children away without anyone noticing? A few months before the incident, an insurance agent had visited George Sauter, pressuring him to get home insurance. When George refused, the agent left after issuing a threat. "You'll regret it when your house catches fire." Did someone use the fire as a distraction while kidnapping the children? Another theory suggests that George Sauter's open criticism of Italian dictator Mussolini angered the Italian mafia. They may have targeted him and taken control of his children. Some people even claim to have seen Sauter's children in different places after the fire. A woman said she saw the children with a strange couple at a hotel. Other reports claimed they were taken away in a car. With so many different stories, one thing became clear: the Sauter children had not died in the fire. But if not, where did they go? A year after the incident, new evidence emerged. The original investigation, which concluded that the fire was caused by an electrical short circuit, was proven wrong. A new investigation revealed that the fire was deliberately set. A bus driver passing by on the night of the fire reported seeing people throwing fireball-like objects at the house. A few months later, when the snow melted, a round rubber-like object was found near the house, identified as a pineapple bomb. Jenny then recalled the sound she had heard on the roof just minutes before the fire. Perhaps that was the bomb. George and Jenny spent their lives trying to solve this mystery. They followed every possible lead. They even put up a large billboard with photos of their missing children and a reward offer. Nearly 20 years later, in 1960, Jenny received a letter. It contained a photo of a man who looked very similar to their missing son, Louis. The letter only said, "Louis Sauter, I love brother Frankie." Was this letter really from one of the 5 missing children, or was it just a cruel prank? George and Jenny hired a private detective to investigate, but no trace of Louis was ever found. Years passed, but the mystery remained unsolved. George Sauter passed away in 1969. Jenny and their surviving children kept searching for answers. After George's death, Jenny never left their home. She built fences around it and added new rooms. She wore black for the rest of her life in mourning. In 1989, when Jenny passed away, the family finally removed the old, worn-out billboard. Were the children victims of a tragedy or part of a larger conspiracy? This remains a mystery that may never be solved. What's your thoughts on this? Comment below and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.